It is Sunday, May 10th, 2020, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, I'm giving you the Royal Caribbean quiz. Happy Sunday, everyone. It is a beautiful, sunny spring day here in Hamburg. It's supposed to be in the 70s today, and I know that some places on the east coast of North America are getting snowed on right now. I'm not jealous. And having that kind of weather must make it even harder to know that you can't travel right now. Even if you had the time and the money, you couldn't just get in a plane and fly to the Bahamas. But hopefully that will change soon. And in order to distract you all a little bit more, I have come up with a Royal Caribbean quiz. Royal Caribbean, one of the famous cruise lines in the world, the cruise line that I have cruised on the most, but it's actually been a while. In fact, I think my last Royal Caribbean cruise was the Anthem of the Seas to Bermuda, and that was like 2 years ago now, right? Over on Instagram, I created a Royal Caribbean quiz. I've been doing a lot of quizzes over there. I did like a general cruise quiz, I did a general Walt Disney World quiz, I did a Magic Kingdom quiz, I think, and now I've created a Royal Caribbean quiz. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, go for it. I like posting these quizzes and coming up with the questions and stuff. So these are 13 sort of random questions that I created, and I'm going to ask you these questions, and you need to keep track of if you got the answer correct or not. So open the notes on your phone or grab a little piece of paper or something as we're doing this, because then you get a rank at the end of it. Yeah, there's no prize. I'm not sending you a free cruise or anything like that. You're just gonna get a rank. Woo! All right, so of course, these are general, random quiz trivia questions in no particular order and about a bunch of different aspects of Royal Caribbean. All right, so if you've got something to keep track, write like a 1 to 13, write your answer down, and then we'll go through at the end and correct them, and then you'll get your rank. So, are you ready? The first question is, what was the very first Royal Caribbean cruise line ship named? Was it A, the Pearl of the Seas, B, the SS Norway, C, the Ocean Vision, or D, the Song of Norway? I'll go through them again real quick. A, Pearl of the Seas, B, SS Norway, C, Ocean Vision, or D, Song of Norway. Moving on. This reminds me of going to trivia on the ships, imagine we're all sitting in the schooner bar right now, you just had your breakfast in the Windjammer. This is fun. Next one, there's only 2 options, and the question is, which of these private Royal Caribbean destinations opened first? Was it A, Coco Cay, or B, Labadee? Which one was the first one that Royal Caribbean ships started visiting? Coco Cay, A, or B, Labadee? Got your answer written down? The next question is, it's a fill in the blank. The first Royal Caribbean ship to be called the whatever of the seas, nowadays all Royal Caribbean ships are called something of the seas, but that wasn't always like that. And we're looking for what was the first of the seas. Was it the Monarch of the Seas? That's A. B is the Sovereign of the Seas. C would be the Legend of the Seas. And D would be the Splendor of the Seas. All right, one more time. Which of these ships was the first of the seas? Was it A, the Monarch, B, the Sovereign, C, the Legend, or D, the Splendor? The next one is a visual question, so you need to look at this picture or a little video clip and tell me which Royal Caribbean ship does not have this attraction. All right, which ship can you not do what you're seeing here? Can you not do this on the Oasis of the Seas? That's A. Can you not do this on the Quantum of the Seas? That's B. can you not do this on the Anthem of the Seas? That's C. Or can you not do this on the Ovation of the Seas? That's D. Again, which ship can you not do this on? By the way, this was amazing. Probably my favorite thing that I've ever done on any cruise. And that's me flying up there. A, Oasis of the Seas does not have this attraction. B, Quantum of the Seas does not have this attraction. C, Anthem of the Seas don't have this attraction. Or D, the Ovation of the Seas does not have this attraction. All right, next question. If you've ever been on Royal Caribbean, you should know this. And it goes like this. A famous hangout on board Royal Caribbean ships is the A, Sunset Bar, B, Solar Bar, C, Sky Bar, or D, Schooner Bar. Which one of these is on Royal Caribbean ships? Is it the A, Sunset Bar, B, Solar Bar, C, Sky Bar, or D, Schooner Bar? You really should know that one. Next question. The Navigator of the Seas, ship that I've been on, includes, so which of these will you find on the Navigator of the Seas? Will you find A, an underwater viewing area, B, a jet engine, C, a go-kart track, or D, an ice skating rink? Which one of these will you find on the Navigator of the Seas? An underwater viewing area, A, a jet engine, B, a go-kart track, C, or an ice skating rink, D. Next question. This is another visual question, so take a look at this picture and let me know which ship this picture could be taken on. Can you get this view on the Serenade of the Seas, A, on the Legend of the Seas, B, on the Ovation of the Seas, C, or the Harmony of the Seas, D? Where can you get this picture? A, Serenade of the Seas, B, Legend of the Seas, C, Ovation of the Seas, or D, Harmony of the Seas? Moving on. All right, this one is a little bit tricky. It might confuse some of you, so listen carefully. Which of these cabin classes will you not find on Royal Caribbean? So, if you want to book a Royal Caribbean cruise, which of these will you not be able to book? Will you not be able to book an A, Haven View cabin, a B, Boardwalk View cabin, a C, Central Park View cabin, or a D, Ocean View cabin? Which one of these can you not book on Royal Caribbean? Haven View A, Boardwalk View B, Central Park View C, or Ocean View D? Next question. This is one that was interesting to me. I didn't know this. I learned this while creating this. The Radiance of the Seas is a so-called Panamax ship. That means that it A, was built in Panama, B, can pass through the Panama Canal, C, it was built by the Panamax company, or D, it has a 360 degrees panorama deck. Do you know it, or are you guessing? Question. Radiance of the Seas is a Panamax ship. That means that it was A, built in Panama, B, can pass through the Panama Canal, C, was built by the Panamax company, or D, has a 360 degrees panorama deck. Next question. All of these ships were the largest in the world except, so that means when these ships were built, they held the record for largest in the world until the next largest was built. All of those held that record except for which one? Was it the Oasis of the Seas? Was that not the largest in the world when it was built? That would be A. Was it the Voyager of the Seas? Was not the largest in the world when it was built? That would be B. Freedom of the Seas was not the largest in the world when it was built? That would be C. Or the Quantum of the Seas was not the largest? That would be D. Which was not the largest in the world? The A, Oasis of the Seas, B, Voyager of the Seas, C, Freedom of the Seas, or D, Quantum of the Seas? Next question. The smallest ship in the Royal Caribbean fleet. So Royal Caribbean is known for having the biggest ships in the world, and there's another question about that coming up. But which one of these is the smallest ship in the Royal Fleet? Is it the A, Empress of the Seas, B, Majesty of the Seas. I see I spelled that wrong here. The C, Rhapsody of the Seas, or the D, Jewel of the Seas. Which one of these is the smallest ship? Empress of the Seas, A, Majesty of the Seas, B, Rhapsody of the Seas, C, or Jewel of the Seas, D. Okay, this is another one that may be a little bit higher knowledge level, or maybe not, I don't know. Which of these restaurants can you enjoy on Royal Caribbean? So one of these is a restaurant that you can only enjoy on Royal Caribbean. Listen carefully. Is it A, Le Bistro, B, Oceans, C, Wonderland, or D, White Castle? Which of these is only a Royal Caribbean created restaurant? A, Le Bistro, B, Oceans, C, Wonderland, or D, White Castle? Moving on. Okay, is this the final question? Yeah, this is the final question. And this is also something that I found interesting. Which of the 10 biggest cruise ships in the world, or let me rephrase it because I can use more words here than I could in this format. Of the top 10 largest cruise ships in the world that are currently sailing, you know what I mean. Of the top 10, how many of those are Royal Caribbean ships? Is it 9? That would be A. Is it 7? That would be B. Is it 5? That would be C. Or is it 4? That would be D. Of the top 10 biggest cruise ships in the world at the moment, how many of them are Royal Caribbean ships? 9, A, 7, B, 5, C, or 4, D. All right, are you ready to correct your papers? But before we get to the answers, of course, please forgive me for putting a little commercial break right here. So I've started putting a little like freeze frame of one of my t-shirts or my towels that I sell at Teespring into the area where the commercial break should be, so that if you don't see a commercial, at least you see that, it's just like a little break. But if you did see a commercial, please write about it in the comments below, because it interests me now more than ever, because I've realized at the moment, very few companies are spending money on advertising anything online right now, especially not on channels that have to do with travel. My views have been like cut in half since like the middle of February this year. Like literally half of the video views that I was getting in December, January, and February have disappeared. And the ads that are running on the views that I'm still getting, and thank you very much for all of you who are those views, the ads have been totally random. The feedback I've been getting has like made no sense, and they're ads that pay very little, unfortunately. So my revenue from AdSense is down 70%. Can we just get back to normal, please? And let's get back to the quiz. Are you ready to correct your papers? Pass them on to some other table. Isn't that, yeah, that's how they always do it. You have to give your paper to some other team, and then they correct it, and then, yeah, you find out. So are you ready for the answers? And people who are like real Royal Caribbean experts will have had no problem with this. But I hope it was fun for some of you, and let's go through the questions before we get to comment on your comments. All right, the answer. The very first Royal Caribbean ship was actually the Song of Norway. Isn't that weird, thinking now that there's like one of their biggest competitors is Norwegian Cruise Line, but the very first Royal Caribbean ship was called the Song of Norway. So D was the correct answer for that question. Like I said, this one surprised me. What private destination? I don't know why I'm having a problem speaking this morning. I haven't had anything to drink. Which private destination opened first? The answer is B, Labadee. And I always thought that Coco Cay was the one that was like, had been there forever and like the first of the private destinations ever, but I was wrong. It's actually Labadee. So there you go. Did you get that right? It was B. The first Royal Caribbean ship to be called the of the Seas was the Sovereign, actually. So the correct answer was B. The Sovereign of the Seas was the first of the seas. And since then, they've all been of the seas. All right, which ship does not have the iFly skydiving attraction? That thing that was so cool. Of the ships listed, it was the Oasis of the Seas. The Oasis class does not have this attraction. It's only on the Quantum class. So A would have been the correct answer. And you can see when I was going through and testing the quiz, I pressed the wrong answer. A famous hangout on board Royal Caribbean ships is the, of course, D, schooner bar. I believe that there is a schooner bar on every Royal Caribbean ship, right? Next question. The Navigator of the Seas does not have an underwater viewing area, a jet engine, a go-kart track. It does have, however, a D, ice skating rink. And if you laughed at jet engine, did you know there are ships with jet engines? The next visual question. This picture could be taken on, also D, the Harmony of the Seas. This is that really cool outdoor multi-functional venue that also has a pool, so there's diving and water acrobatics and stuff like that on the Harmony, on the Oasis class of ships. Which of these cabin classes will you not find on Royal Caribbean? It is, of course, the A, Haven View. Haven is like the luxury ship within a ship on Norwegian cruise lines. So you can get a boardwalk view, a Central Park view, and an ocean view on Royal Caribbean. Correct answer for that question was A. The Radiance of the Seas is a Panamax ship, meaning, did you know this? I'm really curious if you knew what that meant or if you had ever even heard this phrase before. That means it is designed to fit in the Panama Canal. So it's not only Royal Caribbean ships, any ship that can fit through the Panama Canal is, I guess, considered a Panamax ship. So the correct answer would have been B. Next question. All of these were the largest in the world except the Quantum of the Seas. Quantum of the Seas, not the largest in the world. Already built after Oasis of the Seas was built, and the Oasis is bigger than the Quantum of the Seas. So, yeah, correct answer was D. Next question. The smallest in the Royal Caribbean fleet is the A, Empress of the Seas. I mean, if you've ever seen it, it's very obvious. It looks tiny compared to just about any other ship cruising nowadays. You know what I mean. Which of these restaurants can you enjoy on Royal Caribbean? And the correct answer was C, Wonderland. So Le Bistro and Oceans are both restaurants on Norwegian Cruise Line, and White Castle is not on any cruise line. However, it's not so far-fetched. I mean, there are Starbucks on cruise lines. There's burger places from Guy Fieri. There's what's the place called on Royal Caribbean with the singing waiters? You know, the burger place where you can get the malts and the onion rings. Why can't I think of that right now? Anyways, let's move on. How many of the 10 biggest cruise ships are from Royal Caribbean? What did you guess? The correct answer is C, 5. So half of the largest cruise ships in the world belong to Royal Caribbean. There you go. All right. Now, how many did you get correctly? I'll tell you what your rank is, and I want to know what it was, how you did in the comments. So, if you got 0 to 3 questions correct, then you are a steward. If you got 3 to 5 questions correct, you're promoted to engineer. If you got 6 to 10 correct answers, then you're a first mate. So write that in the comments. And if you got 11 to 13 questions, you're the captain. That was a quiz. If you want me to do more things like this, well, follow me on Instagram anyways, because that's where I always start them. And I really like sort of the interactive function where you can press on the answers and see if you got it right. You know, it like lights up. But I will do more of them here if you want me to. So give me some feedback in the comments below. And now comes the time on Sunday Sofatime where I comment on your comments live on air. First comment is from, well, no, wait. On last week's Sunday Sofatime, I took you all with me to the sort of magical, colorful animators palette restaurant on the Disney Dream, something that was built up very high and was a little bit disappointing to me. I mean, it wasn't like a tragedy, but watch the video. You'll see what I mean. And these questions are related to that video. So first question or first comment is from Audra Olsen. Audra writes, I actually loved your comparison because the cruise lines are so different. RCL and Norwegian are frequently compared, but comparing Carnival and Disney is different and interesting. Well, thanks, Audra. I like that kind of feedback. There's been other people, you know, who've written that they thought it was stupid to compare them because they're obviously so different, but I thought that is exactly why you should compare them, and you understood that, so thanks for that feedback. Next comment is from Aussie John. Aussie writes, Hi Morgan, I enjoy your videos and your honesty. I enjoy your humor and your content, but can you please say the ship or ships are docked at the pier? They are not parked like a car. Sorry for the nitpicking, and I watched your video of the 2 ships that are docked near your home. I am amazed at the skills needed to reverse park. Oh my, a cruise ship. John is referring to another video I made last week where I went down to the cruise port and saw cruise ships that were there. And the reason that I said parked is because I feel like it's different than if they're docked there, because like things are different now. Like they're not just staying there for a short period of time. They're like actually parked there to stay there indefinitely. You know what I mean? That's why I said parked and not docked. But yeah, I know that sometimes I use the wrong terminology. Sometimes I call it like a room instead of a cabin, things like that. But we're all friends here. Thanks for calling me out. I'll try to remember. Final comment is from Margaret Abel. Margaret writes, on the fantasy, after you design your drawing on the placemat, Crush leaves the video and you see your picture up on the movie screen. The figures that everyone has drawn are animated and dance along in a line. They also go from one video screen to the next, all around you. It's a lot of fun for everyone. And you know, see, that is something to me that does sound magical, to have drawn something on my table and then to see it as part of a cartoon. That is like a big wow effect. And like I said last week, the experience that we had was cool, but I had heard so many things about it being like a magical experience, and that's how it's described on the Disney Cruise Line website, and I was kind of like, okay, this is cool, but I'm not like blown away by the special effects here. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and if you watched to the end, I'm so grateful for you. A lot of people have been writing in the comments asking if it helps if they watch all the ads and stuff like that, and of course that does help, but another thing that really helps is to watch the video for a long period of time, like till the end if you can, because that's how YouTube decides if a video is good or not and will suggest it to more people who've never been here before. If you know, if I upload a video and people just watch like the first 30 seconds, the YouTube algorithm or whatever automatically thinks, okay, that's not a good video, and then they don't suggest it to other people, and it doesn't help the channel grow. So if you've watched here till the end, thank you so much. You're helping me out a lot. And before you go, if you press the thumbs up button, that really helps too. See you next week. I always forget to clean off my shirt before I sit down here, and then when I'm editing it, I notice I've got like cat hairs all over me, and I think, why didn't you clean it off? Today's one of those days again too, but looks okay.